Another week, another step closer to that run it back situation towards Super Bowl 55. Welcome back, Chiefs Kingdom. This is RGR. I'm Ryan, going rogue on the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL, and today is where we take a look inside the numbers and see what they can tell us that maybe wasn't so evident on the broadcast. What was hidden in there? As you break it down, you get some insights, and I do some that go every week, and I do some that pop up in particular situations, and one that I'm really intrigued by this particular week. If you're new to the channel, this is where you want to click the like and the sub and the bell notifications so you know what comes out next. If you missed yesterday, great conversation with the Terez Paylor of Yahoo Sports. Awesome conversation about where this team is, a number of players that can affect this postseason run as they start to ramp it up. And that clearly looks like against what was a very good defense and an offense that has some strengths that this team is starting to do, incrementally ramping it up. As we get going towards the postseason, there are guys that stand out. And this is without one of the starting linebackers, and yes, against a Dolphins team that was dealing with some of its own injuries to begin with as well. But I thought that the matchup went fairly well. And when we get into it, this is what we find. That one of the things that we track every week is just two measurements about how well the offense is running. And what we see here is the tail of the interceptions was certainly critical. But when you look at what the offense did outside of those particular plays, is that it was able to move the ball at a pace that rivals what it's done. This is their second best output per play of the season, maxing out at 7.4. This 7.3 against a very good, one of the better defenses, certainly in the league, one of maybe the top 10. It depends on the category. There's a couple of little idiosyncrasies there, but this is a very good defense that they were able to move on, yes, without a couple of their players. But 7.3 is a healthy number for these Chiefs, and I think that bodes well again towards getting back on the right track. Now, the interceptions do derail some of that, and we see that in the next stat. They have to get that under control, but we all know that interception day by Patrick Mahomes is a lark, is something very, very out of the ordinary for him. So I don't think that it has to be too terribly concerning going forward. But what it relates to is, while the yards per play were up there and certainly were productive, what those interceptions do, as well as the fumble, in limiting the success of a given drive, is what we come to our second efficiency metric. That I sound like a broken record is what I sound like at how important this is because of the number of opportunities that you get. And this also goes to show just how unique Brian Flores' game plan was in trying to combat the Chiefs offense, because he allowed them to have 13 drives. That is a season high, and that is more so than most teams are going to get on any given weekend. Part of that is because of the explosive plays, the chunk plays that you saw the Chiefs get with Kelce and Hill, and even Sammy getting some chunks in there as well. That has a tendency to speed up the total game clock, the total time elapsed on a given drive, which can then lend itself towards getting more drives. But when you only score on 4 of them, and 3 of them being TDs, 3 out of 4, 75% touchdown ratio is pretty good. But when you're only getting 4 in a given week, when you're used to this team scoring on 6 and sometimes 7 drives, that is a significant difference. And that puts them down here. 31% of their scoring drives this week is a season low for the Chiefs offense. And again, comes back to the turnover differential that is so key. But what they did do is they raised up a couple of other things, starting with the contribution of the rookie class. And this came back into what we had hoped. 237 for this rookie group. Obviously, Yasser Durant playing when maybe unexpectedly. Saw a lot of snaps from Dana, Wharton, Gay, Snead on defense, and obviously CH back in the lead role, playing a healthy amount of snaps. It gives you the balance, and it shows you that there's that initial spark. This is the second highest total for the rookie class in this season. The top number being 241 that they played in week 2 against the Chargers. So that is a lot of thrown into the fire. We know that shortened training camp and everything else allowed some of them to get some early reps, but to see them resurging here after an injury to Snead that was significant. Willie Gay moving along. Not his highest snap total, but I thought some of the best quality snaps that we've seen him play this season. It definitely stands out that this rookie class, just like their second class in Juan Thornhill, McCole Hardman having some impact as well, that combined with next year's rookie class are going to have to put out coming in the 2021 season when that cap comes down. This is a very positive sign moving towards the future. And the other very positive sign is a little bit underwhelming in terms of its jump. Here at 49% of a pressure rate, meaning they got 28 pressures, which was huge, doubling what they did last week. The difference was that Tua Tagovailoa went back and took 57 drops. Now, only 48 of them were pass attempts, but we do this metric against drops, whether he scrambles out of it or not. And so percentage-wise, it looks like this is just an incremental upkick. But 28 pressures, 5 guys getting 4 pressures or more is significant. One of those being Deshaun Wharton. That is a really positive sign for what they are trying to do, and I think something that they can build going forward. Mike Dana putting in some pressures. He was right there with Chris Jones on that safety, and I think that really tells you that, yes, this was rookie offensive tackles that the Miami Dolphins trotted out there, and that does have a significant effect. But this defense, this front, took pressure seriously and bumped it up a notch. Let's see if they can do it again against another group in the Saints this coming week, because that will be telling right there in and of itself. And here, probably the thing that gets under most fans' skin and certainly gets under mine is the volume of missed tackles. And we saw them pull that back this week. They got a little bit more disciplined. There was one that I think really got away from Bashaud Breeland, but besides that, I feel like this was about back to a league average. If you can get 3 to 5 missed tackles a game, you can live with that. That's not hurting you. Anything above that, and even though this is just a tick above, it starts to eat into how well you can defend yourself against allowing points. And that is important. They did allow over 20 points this last game, and that's significant for a team that was 6th in the league in allowed scoring. That plays a role when you're trying to get to the end line of getting W's. And for me, the way that they did that in limiting those particular scoring opportunities, we could talk about the fourth quarter here later in the week as we get into the film that Dan's going to break down tomorrow. But the fourth quarter gave away a couple of things. And at the end of the day, the way that they were able to combat it was through making PBUs. And it was definitely a credit to the secondary. Everyone got a PBU back there, all of the starters. You saw some great plays and a couple others that could have been very, very close, like Juan Thornhill in the end zone, was like an inch away from being able to break that up. Breaking up those passes, and this is where the metric comes in different, where instead of 57 dropbacks, this is against 48 passing attempts, where they got their hands on 9 of them. 19% PBU rate is very, very good, and it puts the pressure back on the offense to complete passes when you have a secondary that's competing like that. 8 of the 9 PBUs were on the secondary. Credit to them. The turnover, as well as Fenton getting the bump there to create the turnover that Tyrann Mathieu recovered. Beautiful play. But the lone outlier there was Chris Jones getting a batted pass as well, so credit to him. You can contribute from all over. And we saw him do that in the Super Bowl. That's something to keep an eye on. At the end of the day, disrupting passes, getting your hands on them, whether at the line of the scrimmage or at the catch point, that's what comes down to stopping offenses from completing long and particularly important gains. So take those takeaways. A lot of green on the board this week, and I think you should be very proud of where they are and the fact that this has got them going on an upward trend. We're going to have a very tough contest for this Kansas City Chiefs roster against the New Orleans Saints. But that is going to be a story for another day. If you are new to the channel, don't forget now, hit the like, the sub, and the bell notification, and you'll get more from us at all times. We still have film coming. We have stat of the week coming. We have the game plan on Friday, and we will have tailgates with Kingdom Corner on Saturday. So don't miss a thing. The live streams are Sunday and Monday nights as well. So we appreciate all the time that you guys put in here. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more, and subscribe to RGR Football.